Welcome to this demonstration of SQL Business Design's integrated CRM system. In the demonstration previous, we showed you our predictive dialing solution. The purpose of this demonstration is to show you how successful calls from the predictive dialer, such as sale made or appointment set, will seamlessly integrate, and how the CRM system gets that data. Our CRM systems work as standalone, so if you don't need a dialing solution but you do need a CRM, and this demonstration is still very pertinent to that as well. So what you're looking at the moment is the user login screen. And again, multi-level user permissions are available here, so if you want certain people to log in as users, managers, administrators, and to have different permissions about what people can see and access and do, that's where a lot of these user permissions are actually implemented. So we've got one user here which is going to log in as an administrator. I'm just going to turn off task reminders. So the task reminders that I've just toggled off there, in a similar way that Microsoft Outlook will pop up reminders to you, task reminders does the same thing, and we'll look at how you set activities and tasks later. So you can see at the moment I'm logged in as Phil Little, and user level is administrator, so I've got full read-write access in the system. The user interface that you're looking at the moment is the primary navigation screen. So this is a really great way of just segmenting the database so that users aren't overfaced to log in. This is quite a large CRM system, but will work from anything from kind of 3 users through to a couple of hundred users. The main part that we're going to look at first and foremost is when somebody makes a sale or an appointment, or whatever a successful outcome is dictated as within one of our predictive dialer solutions, how our CRM can actually access this information. We do plug into other people's dialer solutions as well, so if you've already got a long-term contract that you can't get out of with a dialer provider, we can still accommodate you there. So within this CRM section here, we can see that we've got a couple of options. So creating a new customer, creating activities, get data, which is what we're going to look at in a moment, searching customers, open all, and create a data set. We'll look at create data set in a moment. So we're going to click get data and hit go. And what that's going to show us is basically the hopper. So this is basically all the data that's sat in the CRM that hasn't actually been assigned to a user at the moment. So you can see here these 26,552 records, and in assigned for transfer at the moment, that's just going to show hash error because we haven't actually assigned anything over to us. So we've got 2 buttons here, import dialer. So import dialer, if you're looking for a outcome of sale or appointment set, you're looking to get some information, this is what we'll use. So at the moment in the predictive dialer there are 5 sale outcomes, so 5 lots of data that have a sale outcome that aren't in the CRM at the moment. We want to get that. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit import dialer. It's going to tell us that we're about to run a query. We're going to say yes, and it's going to tell us that we're about to get 5 rows of data, so we're going to say yes to that. So that's now been imported. So you can see here, if I select dialer leads, okay, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 records. So they're now ready to be assigned to anyone as well. And you can see here that records matched available 5. So in a similar way, if I wanted to choose some other criteria, so if I had different marketing source, or I wanted to pick a particular area, you just use this section basically to work through what data that you're actually interested in and assign it to you. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to assign those 5 records to me. So if we keep an eye here on assigned for transfer, I'm going to assign that one, and we've got 1 more to assign. So you can now see that I've got no available records based on my search criteria as dialer lead, but I have got 5 records. If I now wanted to search and assign other records, I can do. So if I wanted to look at another marketing source, it'll give me any other criteria there. So I've got 14,758 records. It's still telling me that I've got 5 still assigned for transfer. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say I'm going to transfer those to the CRM. Data's been assigned, and I'm going to exit out of that section. Okay. So what we've done there is we've taken 5 records from the dialer, pulled them through into the hopper where people can actually access those records. So that's a great way if you want to work as an administrator and assign data to different people rather than it just being a free-for-all for those records. And we've put those into the dialer. What we want to do now is create a data set. Create data set is a really, really effective way to still do high volume prospecting. So if you sent out some marketing and you upload some data where people have actually clicked into the HTML, so you think that that's maybe a hot lead, or maybe they've downloaded a brochure, you might want to have a couple of hours where you just concentrating on all that data where you haven't actually spoke to them before, there's no prior relationship, and you want to be able to ring through that really quickly and effectively. Create dataset is the section that you'd use for that. So we're just going to open create dataset, and we're going to have some records here. So at the moment I've got 141 records which are assigned to me. If I look at status, I can see what status they're in. So validating is our default status, and all of this can be customized. Validating basically shows where there's been no previous contact with that person whatsoever. You can look at who the primary owner is, the marketing source. So marketing source, in this case we're going to say dialer leads. So there's my 5 records that are now assigned to me because I've assigned them from the hopper to me. And all I want to do now is open the dataset. So you can see here at the bottom left I've got 1 of 5 records, and this is all the information. You know, if there had been any address details, postcode, town, any notes, anything that needed to come across that had been captured in the dialer, that would be in there now. So this is my main customer management screen. So on this screen here, that's your main customer account, so you can see all the details about primary contact names. This is great for business to business marketing and CRM management as well, because whereas with domestic you typically have one primary account holder, which is the name that you see on the screen here. Business to business you can have multiple account holders, and we'll show you how we look at that. So quick whistle stop tour here. You've got a tooltip, so we've got multiple statuses. So this is basically where you can start managing your pipeline. So you might want sales that have been made from the dialer to come in at customer level, so we would configure it rather than showing it being validated, it would come in at a customer level. But if you're not sure as to what stage it should be at, you've got a nice little tooltip here which will actually detail all the information, and as I say, all of these stages are actually customized as well, so you can change them to say whatever you want and to define any stages that you want. Fully integrated telephony as well. If you don't use a dialer and you wanted standalone CRM but you still wanted integrated telephony, we can do that for you. So we'd basically provide you with a hosted phone system, and our CRMs and all of our systems actually tie into that, so you would just do click to call and it will actually ring like that as well. Place customers on hold, resume, terminate calls. In the dialer demonstration we showed you how SMS works. We haven't got a mobile number in there at the moment, but if I press SMS I can choose from a template, and likewise with email, and we'll take a look at that in more detail as well. At the top right here we've got our action pane. So I can create new accounts, view opportunities against the account, create new opportunities, add and amend contacts. So if this was, say, a B2B data file, and this was SQL Business Design as a company, and I wanted to add a contact, I would literally just add amend view contacts, run action. Now at the moment, okay, we've only got one person logged against that. I'm going to create a secondary contact, so I'm going to put a contact in of Mr. John Smith. We're going to say that he is the CEO of this business department. Let's say sales, primary number, the SQL number. We'll leave secondary number blank. Let's create a mobile number, my number. Okay, and that's been created. Now at the moment, what you'll be able to see is that if I just exit out of this record, you see that Mr. SQL Design is the primary account holder. If I want to change that to John Smith, I'll just go to add and amend view contacts. There's details, and I'll just hit set. That's going to say that that account has been set as primary. And what you can see here now is that Mr. John Smith has been set as the primary account holder. So things like that, very, very easy to work through. If we go back to add and amend view contacts, if I now want to send John an SMS, I'll just hit SMS. I can choose from a template, and you can configure your own templates. Let's say urgent contact. John, please contact us urgently on whatever. As soon as I press send, I would then receive an SMS from a mobile showing from SQL Business Design, and then that person will get in touch. So it's a great way to do calls to action. Similar with email, so if we just put my email address in there very quickly. I say I want to send an email to that person, it'll boot up the email screen. I can choose from HTMLs if I've loaded them or not. I'll just say no for the purposes of today. Let's say we tried to contact him and it was a missed call. You know, this is just some very simple things. So, dear John, a lot of information. So you can see it's really quick to send out quite detailed emails just by choosing from templates, and that populates all your subject headings. If you wanted to add copies and blind copies, simple, easy thing to do. If I was to hit send, that will now send from the account. Any replies will go straight back to your email account. So integrated email and SMS in the CRM is the same as it would be in the dialer. Creating opportunities. So typically if you are importing something from the dialer, we'll automatically populate an opportunity for you, because chances are you've sold something or created an appointment. For the purposes of today, I'm just going to show you how you can create a new opportunity. So we'll select from the action pane, create an opportunity, and I'm going to run an action. Set the status of that opportunity, so we'll let's just say we're quoting it. It's going to tell me now that it's going to add that note to CRM. I'm going to say yes. So it will now show me in the notes history regarding this opportunity and record the date, the time, and who changed an opportunity to quoted. So everything that you do is absolutely date and time and user stamped. So I can see here that it's created by Phil Little, today's date and this time, and the last person who viewed it was me, and the current owner is me as well. Marketing source, if we want to log a marketing source, so let's say this is dialer lead, and let's give this opportunity a name. So we'll just say it's a phone system lead, and make some notes. So this is the notes regarding the opportunity value. So let's just say this is going to be worth £5,000. Probability of getting it, let's just say it's 80%, and an estimated close date. So when do we think this deal's actually going to come in, which is great for forecasting. We'll say 22nd 11th, a bit of a random date, and actual close date we'll leave until it's actually closed. And if you want to make general notes regarding this, you just put your general notes here, and all that's free text. If I wanted to delete that now, I can delete it. For the purpose of today, we're going to leave that opportunity open, close out of it. If I now go back to view account opportunities, show me I've got no open opportunities, but I have got a quoted opportunity worth £5,000. If I wanted to go back into that, we'd see the same screen that we've just left. So I can just toggle through open, close, subject to what stage it says. So we've covered how we get information from the dialer into the CRM, how we can interact with the basic functions of the CRM by setting names and stages to the dialer, and how we can create opportunities as well. View notes, so if you need to add a note to it, at the moment we've not got any notes against the actual account because we haven't created any activities against it. Okay, add activities. So if I want to add an activity, I can just press run, and we can assign an activity to an actual opportunity in this case. So you can create general activities, so I need to ring somebody about something, but in this case we're going to say we need to ring someone specifically about this phone system opportunity that we've created. Activity description, so we'll say that we need to make a phone call, and I need to complete that by tomorrow, and I need to do it by 3 o'clock. And notes here, I'll leave it as incompleted, so that's going to remain blank at the moment, and I'm going to close out of that. So that's great. Okay, so if I now look at my activities to do, I can see that I've got one activity here, which was to make a phone call that's now elapsed, because that was for the 18th of the 6th, and the opportunity that we've just created now here is due for tomorrow at 1500, so I can see that's due. If I had other users on this system and I wanted to check their activities, so if somebody was off sick, I could just log in and view as somebody else there. So that's how we log and view activities. As soon as you're ready to complete an activity, so we can just take a quick look at that now. So if I was being particularly productive today, I'm just going to say I've made my phone call early. It's saying now that we'll add the completed activity to notes, so it's date and time stamp to say that I've now completed the activity. Add that to notes, and what it's automatically done is now transferred that through to the notes. So notes completed, activities are things that are typically due to be done. So you can see here it says transfer activity, start of notes, that was the note that I made, end of activity notes. If I wanted to make further comments here, it's really easy for anyone to see where certain information started and ended. I'm just going to close out of that, close out of here. Excellent. And that's done. If we just have a look back now, in notes we can see there's the note that was created previously. Okay, so that's the one we've just created. Marketing opt-ins as well, so if I want to view opt-ins, so if somebody's basically said that they're happy to receive information by mail, phone, SMS, email, you can basically change the opt-in status here. So at the moment by default this person's opted into everything. Let's just say they didn't want to receive SMSs or emails, but they were happy to get mail through the post and phone calls. We can just change those marketing sources there, which is good for when you come to extract data to do bulk marketing as well. and that is predominantly, the whistle-stop tour of managing the CRM in that capacity. Lots of other information. As with all of our systems, it can be completely customised. So what you're seeing now isn't how you then got to flex your business to accommodate our system. It's actually the other way around. We'll actually flex our system to accommodate how your business works. So that's kind of just the user interface there. I'm just going to exit back out of our screens and here. Okay, so quick look at management reports. Not going to be a huge amount of information here at the moment because it's only a single user. If I go into campaign reports, I think it'll only be, and we have a look at dial a lead. We can see here that I've got one opportunity that's invalidating. It's been quoted and the value is £5,000. So that's where we can basically see, what I've got in my pipeline and all the stages there as well. Activity reporting, not going to be an overwhelming report at this stage, I'm afraid. So this is basically where you can say how many activities and what people are creating. So we're just going to look at date range, and you can see here that I created one activity, which is the one we've created, and I've completed it on the same date, and I've got one overdue, which was the activity that was showing overdue. If we have multiple users, I can toggle to a different user, or I can toggle to all users and have a look on there and see what other people are doing as well. Manage database. Anything that's a drop-down menu can be managed from the actual database itself. So if I want to add in a menu users, I can do that from here. So if I want to add a new user, I'll just select that, hit go. Okay, that will come up with all these credentials that you can basically do, and you'd be able to set up a new user from that section. So as I say, it's a fully integrated CRM that links quite well with Dialer, so data from that can be seamlessly input, works as a standalone system as well. Everything can be completely customised. That's very much a whistle-stop tour. We'd love to obviously hear from you if you've got any requirements.